Hello, everybody. I want to do this live while things are fresh. I was lucky today in the fourth session. There was over 600 pages to read, 400 almost of which I've already read, so that helped. But I want to go through in high academic. It was with Richard Albert, 51st state, and this is specific to Texas. Texas joining the Union, the enabling act of Congress that was done for Texas. Every state of the Union at some point in its conglomerate or what have you went through that process, if not annexation. So I try to focus on statehood because that would be Canada's focus here. Why I tagged Richard Albert, and it was for American academics, Governor Greg Abbott. I had the fortune of going to Texas on Richard Albert's last hosting of a major event, which I got to go to. Very blessed event. Met lots of folks. In fact, folks who got invited to that session that were in their own right separatists of countries, of regions in countries, or even separate states of countries looking to break away. They weren't successful. When Texas did its Enabling Act, it put in a 5-state solution enabled in the Enabling Act. And as Richard went through today in readings, constructive unamendability by construction of a law or a constitution. In the Enabling Acts of Texas, they constructed, we'll join the Union, but we have this subclause to break away into 5 sub-states, meaning 10 federal senators, codified, put into place in their Enabling Act with Congress, accepted, written into law. When I went to go see Richard, I know every separatist group in the United States of America, many states. When I went to Richard's event, I actually met with a state-level politician in one of those 5 sub-blocks who is an adamant absolutist on breaking away into one of those of the 5. Enabled in Texas's Enabling Act like no other state. I also tagged my good friend Benjamin Ebley, that I hope will spend some time with Richard at some point down the road. Very exceptional, very intelligent American who's very readed, studied, gets into law in his own right, done very well in civil law himself. And being an American going through that, me and Ben, I think, are 2 fellas who've studied, maybe I've studied a little more, all enabling acts of all 50 states. I've gone through all of them, and annexation as well, too. We take Louisiana as its bulk through the purchase that broke off into many sub-states, most of which were French-speaking. French Canadians talk about Canadians in general on the Anglo side that don't understand a lot of Quebec separatism, understanding of what they've worked on because it's a different language. This is no different than the Louisiana situation. Me and Ben have gone through these things in detail, everybody. I don't say 51st state Canada for no reason. It is absolutely possible, codified in the Enabling Act or not codified, to take districts of the state and break away into sub-states down the road. Texas enabled that, everybody. They enabled that in their Enabling Act. And of all the states of the Union, they haven't seen it done. And I even know those who wish to do it in governmental positions in the state level who can't get it done. Tagged Governor Greg Abbott, who's been through it, and that office knows exactly what I'm talking about. And they couldn't get it done. It's enacted in the Enabling Act, but the barriers to getting it done at that state level are probably higher than Article 5. Whereas the other states who did not enable it, who went in all in one state, were able, within many decades, it took decades, to break away into other sub-states all on their own without codifying it through the Enabling Act. Hence, giving this to a governor and a legislative body who has control over that and would do everything in their power not to see it done. Whereas all the other states who didn't put that in as part of the Enabling Act came in as a whole state with the district system I go through, actually were able to, over the decades, get that done. Hence why so many huge territories did eventually turn into states. But I want to caution everybody, not enabling it, enacting it in the Enabling Acts, like making that part and parcel. It still took them many decades, but it was better than actually enabling it as a state, as an alternative. It seemingly is, and Ben knows this too, those that had it done never got it done. Never got it done. This is why things people have to look at. It's why I don't sell that narrative, but it's been said publicly. The other side of this is the idea of breaking Canada up into states first and applying. There are many reasons why Congress won't do it. The same kind of reasons at the state level. Texas's 5 regions, sub-regions of Texas, will never get it done. And you're learning all of the U.S. Congress, the 438, that you wish to take more powers of Senate unto those who've never been codified in America. You will get voted down through the congressional process. I guarantee you Texas alone would vote no. A majority of the power of the current House of Representatives in the United States. Donald J. Trump is not a silly or ignorant man, contrary to all of the things people say. His administration is highly intelligent, highly incompetent. They've had 4 years. Now think about this, everybody, especially Americans. Actually, it should just be Americans. You had a presidency for 4 years, a rest bit of 4 years in another presidency, for the presidency believing that they would win it again. That twice in all of Americans' history has that ever happened, I believe, twice. And Donald J. Trump has done that. Think about that 4 years he had to plan for his next role as president, believing he would get it, and he did. They're very well organized. The things they're doing are happening fast. They have a lot of team players, highly competent, highly organized, getting the job done. Canada, the 51st state, is the best way in under the district system. Benjamin Abel understands that. He cheers for Alberta, the 51st state, or even showcases Saskatchewan, or even Party 51 Quebec. I get it. If I thought that that would have been the best way to go, I would do it. And Ben knows this too. I'm not saying after the fact it certainly is viable and possible, but it shouldn't be codified in the Enabling Act, or you're restricting yourself inside that state level. The state will know it, have it. You leave it open for anyone to do after the fact as a district. In USA system and law, it will happen more often than not without the codification, without enabling it in an Enabling Act, than having it enabled. If you enable it, it's not going to happen. That is just real history. Go the district route. Let the sub-districts figure it out over time. Get their constitutions together. Get their militias together. It can be done. But if you enable it in the Enabling Act, you will end up like Texas, where you'll never see it done. And look how many years have gone by, and it's never been done. Why would the governor give up the power of the state and their system? Not going to happen. And that is just a reality. It's a constructive unamendability of even that Enabling Act clause. Thank you. That's my video. Important for people to know it was made public today. That's why I don't showcase it. And again, I know all the separatists of Texas, even those in power today, even those holding state-level Congress positions, office of Governor Greg Abbott, absolutely, they will confirm these things. And I won't speak of that particular politician today, even though I met with him at Richard's event, outside of that event at the university. But I met lots of people, lots of separatists, Catalan, all these people I've communicated with or been online, met them in real life, went through lots. That's my video, everybody. I had to get this out, had to get it done, or I may never revisit it. Thank you.